Hello and welcome back to Jade Zen Den. My name is Jade and today I'll be taking you through a yoga flow which is specifically designed to help release tension in the lower back. We're just coming down to rest on your back. And you can keep the knees bent up towards the ceiling with the feet resting on the ground. And then when you come down here, turning your palms to face up and moving the arms out to the sides away from your body slightly. Just making space for your shoulders to open on the ground beneath you. The shoulder blades drawing down the back. Good, and closing your eyes here. And beginning to settle into your body. Bringing your awareness to the soles of your feet connecting to the earth and moving up to your knees, down to your hips and up and along your torso, your chest, shoulders and arms, and your head. And in particular, paying attention to that lower back area, so the sacrum, and just feeling your lower back and pressing into the ground here. And in this position with the knees bent, you find that the lower back can be supported by the ground. And beginning to deepen your breath down into the stomach, sending it to your lower back, nourishing that area. And then on your next exhale, we're just going to press your sacrum and lower back down into the ground. So for this motion, it involves tilting your tailbone back, so you're kind of pressing your lower back into the mat. And then as you inhale, just bringing your spine back to a neutral position. You can take your hands to your hips here to help with that tilt of the pelvis. Good. So as you next exhale, we're just tilting the pelvis and pressing the tailbone away from the ground up towards the ceiling. And that allows the lower back to press down into your mat. Inhaling to come back to neutral. And exhaling, just tilting. So it's a really subtle movement. And you can use your core muscles here as well, just to help with that tilt. So directing your stomach, directing the pelvis and hips. And keep going with that inhale and that exhale. And feeling your lower back connect to the mat more and more with each exhale. Good, and then we're going to take the left leg out long on the ground and bend the right knee in towards your chest and wrapping your hands around that right knee. Squeezing it in towards your body and pausing here a moment, taking a breath. Good. Breathing in and out. On your next exhale, we're going to squeeze the head and chin up towards your knee and holding here, just letting your breath come back to normal. So we're engaging the core here, lifting up through the upper body. And engaging the core is a really good way to protect the lower back. So before we start moving into some more gentle stretches, just going to switch on the abdominal muscles. Breathing, holding here. Good, and then slowly lowering your head back down to the ground. And we're going to extend that right leg up into the air, so straightening out through the knee. And you can keep hold of behind your thigh or behind your calf or whatever is comfortable. And then beginning to flex your right foot. So increasing the stretch down the back of your hamstring. And the hamstring is also just connected to your back. So we're helping loosen from the bottom here, releasing tension. And maybe it feels good to take some circles with that right foot. Just warming up the ankle, moving in one direction and then the other. Bringing the foot back to stillness, and then we'll bend that right knee into the chest again. Take the right hand to the inside of your right leg and right knee, and then just take hold of your right foot or ankle. And it doesn't matter exactly where you're holding on, but the aim here is just to bring that right knee down towards the ground. So we're opening into a half happy baby. And beginning to open through the right hips. And maybe you feel it in your quads here, and your glutes and the hamstrings. And you can play around as well to get a deeper stretch. So maybe you open and close this right leg, bending at the knee, out to the side. And you can use the arms to guide the leg. And keeping that breath going. Maybe you just sway from side to side. Maybe it feels better for you to just stay still here. Good. And then we'll gently bring that right leg back through center. And bending the left leg on the ground now. So the knee is bent and the foot is on the ground. We're going to wrap this right leg and hook it over the top of the left leg. And you can leave it there, or if you want to take a further bind, you can wrap your right ankle around the left ankle. And then we'll let the legs drop over to the left side, finding our reclined spinal twist. And with your arms, you can take them out wide, or you can bring them into a cactus shape if you don't have much space. And really letting this twist shape, this stretch run from the base of your spine, your legs, all the way up your back. Maybe opening through the mid-back and the shoulders here. So even though we're targeting the lower back, we have to work with the whole body. Everything is connected. And feeling that twist running up all the way through your neck to the crown of your head. And if you haven't, you can just gently turn your head so you're looking over towards your right hand. And breathing deeply down into the stomach, into the sides of the rib cage, into the back. Exhaling, releasing, sighing it out. Good. And then we'll press into the arms, engage the core, and use the legs to just come back up through center. And now taking that right leg down to the ground and bringing your left leg in towards the chest and bringing your hands around the bent knee. Taking a breath here, letting your spine come back to a neutral position. And just noticing how it feels to have that left leg drawn into the body. And we're going to take that core exercise on this side now. So breathing in, and as you exhale, we'll just lift up the head, the neck, the shoulders, squeezing the core muscles here. And still trying to press your lower back into the ground. We're just lifting up with the upper part of the upper body. And breathing here, holding. Notice any trembling, any shaking. Staying strong, just protecting that back. Increasing the strength of your core. Good, and another deep breath, slowly in and slowly out. And then lowering your head, your shoulders, your neck back down to the ground. We'll begin to straighten that left leg out And flexing the foot, letting the toes come back down towards your body, and then maybe taking some circles of that foot, noticing any clicks or crunches. Good, maybe intensifying that hamstring stretch for you. And then taking our left arm this time, we're going to begin to bend the left knee out to the side, and using that hand, just take hold of the foot. It can be the inside of the foot, the outside, it might be the ankle, and allowing that left knee to come towards the ground. It doesn't need to touch the ground, but just opening in that general direction, getting a half happy baby stretch here. And again, maybe stillness works for you. Maybe you want to just explore some gentle movements. However you're moving, keeping that breath just flowing in, and exhale, slowly releasing. Good. And then we'll bring that left knee and leg back through center, bending the right knee, and then we'll take our supine twist on this side. So hooking that left leg over the right leg, and then maybe you also just hook your left ankle under the right ankle, taking the hands out to the side or into a cactus shape, and then letting the legs drop over to the right side of the ground. And you can adjust your shoulders on the floor as well. Maybe walking the shoulders under you to help deepen that twist. Good. Just enjoying that opening all the way up the side of your body. And this side might feel different to the other side. And breathing into whatever sensations are present for you here. And seeing if you can relax your neck, your head, your shoulders, your back. And especially noticing what's going on in your lower back. Breathing into your lower back. Good. On your next inhale in, we'll just press the elbows down into the ground, engage the core and lift the knees back up through center. Unbinding your legs and then just straightening out with your back on the mat. Coming back to a neutral position here. Pausing for a moment, just letting the arms rest down. Good. And then we'll give the knees a hug in towards our chest, wrapping both arms around the knees now, and taking little rocks from side to side, and massaging out your back, easing the ground. And this can be such a nice, juicy one to do in the morning, or just any time, maybe if you've been sat at your desk all day, or if you've been working out and you've got tension there. Good, and we'll find our full happy baby pose now. So taking the hands to the inside of your legs and holding on to the feet or the ankles, wherever's accessible for you. Letting both knees draw down to the outsides of your body. Good, and having the feet, maybe your feet reach up towards the ceiling, maybe the feet are further down, just wherever is working for you. And breathing there, feeling that opening of the hips, and of course the hips, the sacrum, it's all connected to your lower back, so when the hips get really tight, that also can increase tension in your lower back. And in your happy baby pose, just making a conscious effort to keep drawing your lower back, your sacrum down to the ground here, so we're not lifting up the tailbone and the back. We're intentionally straightening that spine, and maybe you need to engage your core as well for that to happen, and just press your core like you're trying to get your spine down to the ground. Good. Final breath here. And then we'll begin to draw the knees back towards each other. You can just come straight up to sitting, or if this is going to feel good for you, you can begin rocking backwards and forwards. Maybe taking 2 or 3 rocks until you come up to seated. And then we'll cross straight over, so coming into a tabletop position on all fours. Taking the hands underneath your shoulders, the knees under your hips, and we'll work through some cat-cows. So just tilting the pelvis gently, gazing upwards, finding an arching motion for your cow, and then rounding, coming into cat pose. Good. Inhaling, lifting, exhale, finding that rounding. And as you round, really try and round through the back. Really press the ground away, squeeze the shoulder blades up. Moving at your own pace. And then we'll return to a neutral spine to our tabletop, sinking back on the heels here, and we'll take the toes to touch and the knees a little bit further apart from each other, but not too wide, so still inside your mat. And then stretching your arms out nice and long, keep extending all the way down until your forehead can rest on the ground. And if your forehead doesn't touch, then you're welcome to support it with a cushion or a blanket. Good, and just melting into your child's pose. And then from here we'll come back through all fours, tuck the toes under, lift the hips, fly the bum back up towards the ceiling, and find our downward facing dog. And in your downward dog, it might feel nice to just walk out the legs. So bending into one knee, lifting onto the toes of that foot, and then changing to the other side. Just keeping all of your fingers spread out wide on the mat here. And trying to find that length from the fingertips running up the arms through the back. So you can bend the knees as much as you need. And we'll come to find stillness now. So maybe your legs are extended, or maybe they're a little bit more bent. But we're just trying to elongate, lengthen that spine. And engaging your pelvic floor muscles here as well. So Mula Bandha. And gently engaging the core again to protect the lower spine. And then from our downward facing dog, we're going to step our left foot to the outside of the left hand, coming to our lizard pose. And from here, you can keep this right leg up, or you can drop the right knee down towards the ground. And if you do that, then untucking the toes. And then you might spend a few moments just swaying here on the hands, beginning to ease into that left hip flexor. If it's available to you, then there's the option to come down onto the forearms as well. And this will just take it deeper into the hips. But if you are very tight here, if your lower back is feeling too tense or too stiff to do this, then don't push it, just going with what your body wants to do right now. Good. And then we'll come back up onto the hands, tucking the back toes under, and lifting up here. Good. And then we're going to take our left hand and reach it up towards the sky on the left side. So we're coming into easy twist here. And from here we're going to transition by bringing that left hand back behind us, and we'll pivot onto the knife edge of both feet. So reverse Skandasana. And this is quite a tricky pose to get if you've never done it before. Good. And then we'll lift up, reaching that left arm overhead, and then sink the hips down back into reverse Skandasana here. Good. Inhaling, lifting up, and exhale, sinking the weight down. Good. Inhaling up, and then we're going to come back through center, so back through our lizard pose. And from here we'll keep walking the hands around until we come to the front, and let this right leg turn out as well. We're going to find Skandasana, or our side lunge, and you can take any variation of this that works for you. If your hips and your lower back are quite tight, you might find that you're up here, and then you'll just really be engaging the legs to stay supported. If you can sink down, then coming down towards the ground, you can rest the hands out in front, or for a deeper opening, just taking that left hand down to the left side and stretching the right fingertips up to the sky. Breathing here. Good. And then we'll walk our hands over, coming into a wide-legged forward fold position. And when you're here, coming to a halfway lift. Good. Lengthening the spine, making sure that your back is flat and looking down towards your hands. And as you next exhale, we'll forward fold down, just letting the weight of your upper body come down. Keeping the legs straight here, but still engaging the muscles of the legs so that you're not locking out the knees. Good. Breathing here. And then lifting back up to your fingertips. And we're going to come down onto our right side for our low side lunge, Skandasana. So again, finding the variation that works for you. You can support yourself with blocks, or if you're using a book, you can be up on the hands. And then reaching that right hand out to the side, stretching the left fingertips up. Breathing here. Good. And then we're going to pivot all the way around, so turning onto the toes of your left foot, and then walking that right foot, heel toeing it out to the right side. And then we're going to find our reverse Skandasana, so this slightly tricky one. So first, reach your right hand up to the sky, and then pivot onto the knife edge of both feet, coming round to look behind you to the back of your mat. And your hips can sink down as much as they can. They might be a little bit higher up. Inhale, reaching the arm up overhead, lengthening through that right side body here. And then as you exhale, letting your hips drop down. And you might feel a stretch here through the IT bands and through your legs and lower back. It can be a really nice release. Inhaling, lifting up. And exhale, taking it down. Good. Inhale, lifting up. And then we'll come all the way around. You can reposition your hand, your left hand under you, so we can reach the fingertips up and find easy twists now. Just stretching the fingertips up, staying strong through the legs. And then taking that right hand down to the mat finally. We'll find our lizard pose on this side. So dropping that back knee if that's the best option for you. And taking a few moments just swaying into that right hip. Good. Noticing the stretching sensations all down the front of the hips and the pelvis, down the quads, in your lower back. And this stretch can feel different for all of us. All of our bodies are individual and unique. Just getting to be curious about where you can feel shifts happening inside, and coming down to the forearms if you wanted to explore that option. Good, and we'll lift back up to the forearms now, lifting that back knee off the ground, and we're going to step back to our downward facing dog. Good, and spend a moment here, reconnecting to the breath, reconnecting to this shape. Again, engaging the core, tucking your tailbone under, engaging Mula Bandha. Feeling strong through the arms. Good, and then we're going to lower down onto our knees and work through some more cat-cows. So just easing out any tension that might still be remaining here. Inhaling, tilting the pelvis and looking up. Exhaling, rounding through the spine. Good. Moving with your breath, inhaling and exhaling. And you can keep going with these cat-cows, but maybe there's more intuitive movements that you want to find here. So that might be moving from side to side or going in a circle. And I find that moving your body in a kind of circular motion, so starting at the hips and working up through the spine to the shoulders, that can be really nice for your lower back and for the whole of the back. And you can take the knees a little bit wider apart to do this as well. And maybe take the hands slightly forward so you have more range of movement. Moving in one direction and then the other. And keep synchronizing the breath with that movement. Good. And coming to find stillness and just sinking back on the knees. Making sure that the knees are together now. And we're going to come down to find a child's pose, but a closed-legged child's pose this time. And you can just let the arms rest down by the sides of your body, like fully rounding your back. Just completely relaxing down the weight of your forehead on the mat. And feeling your stomach against your legs. And that in-breath expanding through the back of your body. And that exhale just relaxing you. Yeah. And then when you're ready, we can make our way down onto our back for Shavasana. And for Shavasana, you can just keep your knees bent so the soles of the feet are on the ground. You can extend the legs long if you'd like, but this option is often better for lower back tension. And maybe you let the knees drop in towards each other and take the feet slightly wider to the sides towards the edges of your mat. Okay, turning your palms up and fully surrendering your body down to the earth. Just let your breath settle, returning to its natural flow. And with every natural inhale that travels in, down, filling up your diaphragm, your belly, just letting that nourishing, healing energy of the prana, the vital life force, and letting each exhale take any tension out of your body with it and sinking down into the earth. Just breathing in relaxation and breathing out tension. And just drawing your awareness back into your physical body now. Beginning to move your hands, your toes. You can roll onto one side of your body and then make your way up to seated. Yeah, taking a nice straight spine here, relaxing the shoulders. And we'll just take 3 final Oms together, taking your hands to heart center. Inhaling. Good. Bowing your head to your hands, taking a moment to have gratitude for yourself for practicing. Namaste. Thank you for practicing with me. I hope that you enjoyed that flow and that it was useful for you. If you liked it, then please can you give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my YouTube channel. I look forward to seeing you next time.